All right, man. It's Mike Motivation Monday, and as you can see, we got the whole setup. Shout out to Marquis and Vivid Vision Media. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him for this. Man, this is big time though.
Yeah.
Who we got on here? Iven Jones / Isaac Jones. One of my favorite people of all time. Besides my mom, he's one of my favorite people, and my nana.
Thank
You know,
thank
so
you.
Iven Jones, man.
What's up?
What's up? Mike Motivation Monday. And so before we even get started, I like to do something called Book of the Week. And so Book of the Week, we got Black Labor, White Wealth. And Ivan, you know about this book a lot.
Anderson.
Yep, Dr. ClaudAnderson. And I was just telling Marquis earlier is how all these books back here, you pretty much the reason why I got them.
Yeah.
To be honest,
God.
you pretty much the reason why I got them. You know
I
what I'm
need to
saying?
read this one though.
Which one?
Message to the Black Man.
Yeah, Message to the
I
Black
don't
Man.
have that one.
Yeah, that one's good. That's I haven't read into it yet, but by Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
But he pretty much the reason why I got into reading. To be honest, I used to just read football books, but he'd be like, "Oh, you gotta make sure you read your history. Read your history."
It's important. It's important though. All jokes aside, it's really important. Like I don't read like I used to, like I should anymore, but I'm not like compared to a lot of people. I think I've read my share of books.
Yeah, you a smart individual. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm gonna gas you up for sure because you deserve it, and you know I want to show you your love now. But he very smart. You know what I'm saying? Even though he think he right a lot of the time, but he usually be right. Even
I've been told that a lot. Like
sometimes it comes out, you be like, man, this dude, but he's usually right. So shout out to Ivan. But to get back to the book of the week, the book of the week is Black Labor, White Wealth, like I said. But this book is probably, to me, the most influential book that I read so far. You know what I'm saying? Like this book is powerful. It talks about the breakdown of slavery, just coming back from not only with the U.S., but talking about who all was involved in slavery. Because, you know, a lot more people was involved in slavery as far as different countries like South America, Europe, and even the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? So this book is powerful. And the best quote from this book to me is, let me look. I forgot. Blackness is power. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite quote from that book. You know, so Book of the Week, Black Labor, White Wealth. If you haven't read it already, make sure you check it out. And then, man, Ivan. So I just kind of want to talk about kind of your life. Tell them where you're from and kind of where you grew up and how you got to Iowa.
South side of Chicago, Inglewood. A lot of people from the outside looking in would look at where I come from as, oh, he comes from Chicago. It's so bad there. and this. But, like, my experiences was different. You know, I grew up in what some people don't think exists. I really grew up in an all-black community.
Yeah.
I grew up in a community where, like, my grandma, my aunties, the older people in the neighborhood, regardless of what was going on in the neighborhood, looked out for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We used to have block parties every year. I had a childhood. That's what I feel is lacking today.
Yeah.
Kids today, eager to grow up. They want to do adult things at an early age and don't really enjoy their childhood.
Yeah.
I hear kids today talking about how stressed out they are. I wasn't stressed as a kid. I was too busy being a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I didn't get to go outside, I felt like I was being punished because I know I missed something. I didn't want to miss nothing. Like,
do you think the growing up in the black neighborhoods kind of shaped you into who you are now, and like understanding just culture and how different it is in Iowa, the lack of culture we have?
Well, moving to Iowa was different for me because I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
I stayed in Mississippi for like 7-8 months. Went back to Chicago, then I came here. I can say I didn't have any white friends before I moved to Iowa.
Yeah.
Period. Like, so moving here culturally was different.
Yeah.
I only knew my whole life before I moved to Iowa one person who was in like a biracial relationship.
Yeah.
So like moving here, like I said, it was different, and it was like, and then at the same time, it was slower.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to like just the adjustments. Like I say this all the time: if you move to Iowa and you can't make it, you can't find a job or something like that, you really just not looking.
Yeah.
Like, like
definitely.
You know, but it's I don't know. I just enjoy life though. Like I like people, so
yeah,
it was cool. It was easy to interact. But like I said, it was definitely shaped me though.
So when you did move to Iowa, is there a point where you kind of feel was like a super? Was it an easy adjustment, or was it like, man, this is different as far as like the culture and dealing with people?
Easy adjustment.
It was an easy adjustment.
Yeah, it was an easy adjustment. Like I crack jokes all the time. Like shit, I remember the first time I left the crib, my dad flipped out because I didn't lock the door.
Yeah,
I forgot to lock. I was rushing and didn't lock the door. And you're like, man, you know you can't do that and this and this and this. I said, did somebody come in? You're like, well, no, still. I said, okay.
This is different. This ain't Chicago.
I was
yeah.
like, bro, pops, you know, it's not the same. Like,
yeah,
I get it. I got it. I understood. But how they shot left for all the time. He just got home. And the doors wasn't locked. And nobody came in. Like,
yeah, that's different. Then just think of, is there any like, when you think back on like just Chicago in general, is there any like specific things you remember the most just besides like the being in a mostly black neighborhood, just experiences that you feel like that you still kind of think about now, just positive wise though, going through school or just
my grandpops. My grandfather, I tell people all the time, my grandfather was the biggest hustler that I know. And I remember when I said, people used to think like negative wise on like selling drugs or something like that. My grandfather never sold a drug. Never, I don't think, ever really did anything illegal.
Shout out to your grandpa.
My grandfather had a job. He owned his own business for years.
Yeah.
And then would sell like icy cups.
That's dope.
In the neighborhood. And I remember him, I still to the day don't know where he should get these planes from.
Yeah. Planes?
Yes. It was some little plastic planes and you got to put them together.
Yeah.
And it had like the foam wings and you had like the rubber band on the stick.
And he sell those too?
He used to pack them for a company. And we get paid for it. I didn't know he was getting paid for it when I was a kid, but me and my mom was talking about it. And it was like, he was always like, you know, so like, yeah, when I was a little kid, my grandfather definitely, like, and he used to give us, teach, as a kid, you don't understand what you're being taught. Yeah. You know, until you get older sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of things, too, you teach me, like, that just, I catch on 3 years from when you taught me. You know what I'm saying? There's some things you taught me when I was younger that I'm just now catching on to. And that's just life in general. So if you're teaching, like, if you have, like, a younger person you're teaching, you know, don't get frustrated and get annoyed if they don't catch on to it too soon, because sometimes it just takes time. And some people have to learn through experience, or some other people just have to learn through just wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Getting that wisdom from other people. So some things just take time. But it brings me to my other question is, you said your grandfather was a hustler, you know what I'm saying? And then I kind of got that mentality from you, just seeing you hustle. Can you tell us about, like, what made you just start art first off, but then move it into, like, a business aspect? Like, I'm going to start selling shirts. Like, look, check out his shirts, and if you want one, hit him up. You got Bruce Lee on this shirt.
This shirt, you know what I'm saying? A painting that I did. Yeah. And when I first started painting, I remember telling my mom, I'm gonna open up my own store selling shirts with my artwork on it. And honestly, I want to say it was last year. Me and her had a talk, and she's like, "So what happened to you
selling shirts?
Your T-shirt thing?" And I was like, "Well, it costs money, like." And what made me feel like this with the shirt, doing the shirts was, I've done so many art shows in the last 3 years. Yeah. And I remember doing the shows, when I first started doing our shows, I had my paintings, and people always like, man, don't underprice yourself. So I'm thinking like, okay, so I supposed to, and one guy told me, you should make, how much you make it work?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, he said, why would you sell one of your paintings for the same thing somebody paying you to do? So you supposed to,
don't make sense. Yeah.
Right here, like you lowballing
Don't
yourself.
undervalue yourself. That's the key too. Don't, whatever you're doing, don't let nobody determine your value but you. Like, of course, you got to test the market and see what people are going to buy. But at the end of the day, you decide what your worth is. So don't let nobody decide your worth, you know?
So I came to the conclusion, if I can put my art on shirts, I could sell a shirt for $20-$30. I'm selling one painting, depending on the painting, for $100, $150,
yeah,
$200. So not only the shirts, not only will they sell faster, you get to maximize your dollar.
Yep.
Off one painting.
Yep.
You could take that one painting, and it took me a while to learn this, because I remember I would do shows, I wouldn't do prints, nothing to go come with the paintings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell a painting today. Then be kind of frustrated when you don't sell one.
Yeah.
But you could take one painting, say I priced the painting for $200.
Yeah.
I could bring 10 shirts and sell them for $25. Make that same money.
Yeah.
Prints for $10.
Sell 20 of those.
Yeah. So
20, yep.
It's just maximizing. I had to learn, like, I learned from other art friends. Like, shout out to my one friend, Laura Todd. Laura Todd would come to the show, 5 paintings maybe, but have a whole table. Prints, magnets, like, and I used to be sitting there like,
dang, that's smart though too, yeah.
So, last year, I was like, next year I'm coming out full throttle. I'm gonna make sure I have my prints. I'm gonna do anything to maximize my dollar.
Yeah.
And like now, like I said, I just started doing the shirts. My first set of shirts.
Congrats to you. I'm happy for you too, though.
Pretty much sold out my first set of shirts. I ordered a total of 47 shirts, and I have at home 3 left, I think.
That's what's up.
And that's over a course of 2 months. It might not seem like
that's a lot, bro. Great, that's a lot.
But for my first shirt, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think one thing you talked about too is just learning from experience.
Yeah.
Like, without you even trying to sell those shirts, shoot, you would have never learned none of that stuff, or even going to art shows and learning how to maximize your dollar or bring a different value, bring more value to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
You want to hear the funniest thing about art though with me? I've been drawing my whole life.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I drew first. I remember as a little kid, really little, scribbling on the wall and got a whipping for it.
Oh, dang. You one of those bad kids.
It was on the wall forever, though, like in my grandfather's basement.
Yeah.
But I always was into art. Like, I remember my dad drawing when I was a kid and watching him, like, that looked cool. You know?
Yeah.
My uncle used to draw, and I remember the first thing I ever drew, I traced it.
Traced it? Shoot, that's what I started drawing.
First thing I ever drew, I traced it. It was a Pink Panther.
Yeah.
My uncle had drew, and I traced it. And I went back home. I had to go with my grandfather's on the weekends. And I went back home and took it to school and told everybody I drew it.
Yeah. Do you think, can you kind of speak on like the value of having that good, positive way to express yourself? Because a lot of people, even in my age group and me from experience, that when you get stressed out, you go out and drink. Some people go out and smoke. You know what I'm saying? They go out, do this, do that. What do you think the value of having something positive to express yourself? Because I know when you was a kid, you talked about you used to be super angry. You know what I'm saying? So
I had my moments as a kid.
But can you talk about the value of having something, a positive way to express yourself? You know what I'm saying?
When I was a kid, I ain't gonna say I was a bad kid because I wasn't.
That's what every kid say.
Nah, I really like my mom. I think my mom vouched for that one. I just used to like do some of the dumbest stuff,
Yeah.
most kids.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that art was like my stress reliever.
But it was kind of natural. Is that why?
It was just something that I used to like to do. And when I got in high school, I got more into it. But it also took for me to get kicked off the football team because of my grades. So then art kind of saved me in a way.
Yeah.
Because I was all about football. Like, me and my friends, we didn't care what the weather was. If we got enough people, we was playing football. We played basketball. We played softball.
Yeah.
Like, sports was our outlet to everything. We bored, let's go play ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes playing ball, and it led to fights.
This is the way it was, though.
It was just... But when I was a kid, you could fight somebody. The next day, y'all cool. Like, we go play sports again. Like,
yeah.
But it's important to have that outlet. Art became my stress reliever as I became an adult. Because I looked at life as you get a job, so where you can pay your bills, and that was
it. Yeah.
Like, that was it. Then I hit my 30s and start looking back, kind of, so like I started looking back, like, damn, I haven't really done shit. And then you being around, as you say, you learn from me. I've learned a lot from you, because no matter what was going on, you was always happy. And I was like, this kid different, like he's different, and like it was times where things was kind of dark.
Yeah.
But you was always around. So I had to be... I know you looked up to me. So I had to buck down.
Yeah, like, can't
not really... Can't walk around mad and can't do this. So, again, art played a big part in that. Because you used to you used to always sit down there, just sit there doing your football stuff and watching me draw. You and Robin.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I got to where I'm at today, art-wise, through a relationship that was driving me nuts. Like, all jokes aside, like, my buddy...
So you had that way to express it, huh?
So, like, Black used to always mess with me, like, man, you need to get out your sketchbooks and do bigger stuff.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Black, too, man. Shout out to Black.
That relationship, it had my mind so messed up. All I could do was art.
Yeah.
I wasn't an angry person like that. So when I got mad or pissed about something, go in my little dungeon.
Yeah. Just do some art.
Sit in there all night. Play the game for a couple hours and then do work.
Okay.
Then go to work.
That's what's up.
One day I got an opportunity to be in an art show. And I've been doing them ever since. Like...
And then, so looking back on where you're at now as far as art and just seeing how far you come as far as art and just life in general, is there any lessons that you feel that stick with you the most? Like, man, like, when I just think back, this is what's really got me through, or
for
lessons
me,
that you get, you know what I'm saying?
Since I've been doing art.
From that process.
Man, just stand on the course. Because there's going to be times, man, like my first year, I remember one day I did a show in Pleasant Hill, Art on the Lake. I didn't sell anything. And we there, me and a couple friends, we had a little group. So it's like 3 of us there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at one of the guys I was with, he's selling his little pieces, and I ain't selling nothing. I mean, I haven't sold nothing all day. Like, left that show and went and did another show, back to back. Didn't sell anything. And I was pissed. I was ready to quit. I'm done with our shows.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I want to get out of Des Moines. Like, I only
all
see
that.
all my, because I think most of all my art, for the mostly 95% of my artwork is for
Catered.
us.
Yeah,
it's
for
catered
blacks.
to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, my art not for Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
This man, after next year, as soon as the
bouncing.
weather break, I'm bouncing. Like,
I'm out of here. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting out of Des Moines.
Yeah.
You know, and funds didn't work out right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just stayed on the course. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so weird because that same summer when I was talking about quitting, is kind of when my name, not really realizing it, it's kind of when my name started running, like moving around in the circle here in Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
I did my first mural
Mm-hmm.
that year. That's still up in the place today.
Yeah.
Actually, I did 3 of them in there. I got a email from Simpson College
Mm-hmm.
to do a live painting during their like homecoming little dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was the dopest. Like,
Yeah.
I like, okay, maybe it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it was like another call. I want you to be our artist of the month here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. So this like really, and what did it for me personally? Me and my group did a show, Valentine's Day Massacre. It was a 3-day show, and there was a young girl there. She had to be about 16, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember walking around looking at the artists, all the artist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have a lot of stuff. She had like 2 paintings and a bunch of little stickers.
Yeah.
But
Everybody
I remember
had
her
all
work,
stickers,
though. I remembered her painting. I saw the work, and I told her, I said, if I sell something, I'm coming to get one of these. So I didn't know she followed me.
Yeah.
I think on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend Danielle came and told me, she like, the next day, like, you remember the girl that you told you was going to buy one of her pieces?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I noticed she's not here today.
Yeah.
Because I sold something, and I was hoping she was going to be back the next day so I could buy, from her. And she was like, you made her day. When you walked away, she was like, was that Iven? And I was like, and she said, yeah.
The Iven Jones?
She was like, that Iven Jones? Like, I follow him on social media. Like, it was either that or Facebook. I know she followed me on one of my social medias.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
dang.
Okay, she finished telling me, she's like, yeah, that's him. And she's like, I love his work. I follow, and I was like,
That's what's up. Hey, so you said just staying the course and being persistent. So if somebody randomly just was on the street, you know what I'm saying, and you walk and they come up to you like, hey man, if you can give me advice about anything, what would it be? You know what I'm saying?
Advice about anything. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and whatever it is that you want to do, don't quit at it. Don't quit at it. Fall in and stay on the course.
Yep.
Don't quit. Like, and I can vouch for this because I wouldn't do art for a long time as a career because I was afraid to. I didn't think my art was good enough.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I went to an open house at the Art Institute of Chicago. And I got there, and it was almost like a culture shock.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know nobody who had portfolios of paintings and all of this stuff. I had 2 sketchbooks. You know how my sketchbooks used to be.
Yeah.
A bunch of half-finished sketches.
Yeah.
And you got kids from all over the country at this place walking around with their portfolios, with the pictures, like they were sculptures, with big old pictures of what they done sculpted. And I'm looking at these people, I'm like,
damn.
Okay, I don't think this is what my teachers, okay, anyway, so I just walked around And I remember a lady telling me at one of the schools that she's like, well, you wish you had more work. But I see you got a strong foundation, you know, with your sketching and, you know. And I used to get, like, letters. Like, I filled out stuff. I used to get the letters in the mail. And I didn't get a scholarship for
the art
in Chicago. And it was like, all right. But it took, and think about what I'm talking about. I was 18. I didn't start painting. I did a little painting in high school, but I didn't start painting until I was 37. 37, 38. So think about what it kept up with it then.
Yeah.
You know? But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
That's true.
I believe that. Like,
time is everything. I think that's a key too, is for anything that you're involved in, it's important to not look back on your life and be like, man, if I could have did this, I would have been here, you know? Because all you can do is deal with what you can learn from it.
This generation today, telling the person, I've been lectured. Literally, a friend of mine sent me a text. Toxic positivity. Man, don't worry about it. Just keep moving forward. And stuff like that was on there. Because that's what I tell her. Why are you worried about it?
Yeah.
There's nothing. It happened already. There's nothing you can do.
Can't change it. Yeah. So I think it's important that with anything you're doing, if you mess up or you have a downfall, it's important not to be too hard on yourself. Learn from the situation.
And move forward.
Just move forward. And so one thing too is we're going to do is each week is we're going to do a quote of the week. And so after I say the quote, I want you to tell me what comes to mind for you. The quote is, demonstration speaks louder than conversation, by Nipsey. What comes to mind?
Demonstration speaks louder than conversation. It's kind of like action speaks louder than words.
Exactly.
Show instead of talk about it. You could talk about something all day and never do it. But if you showing a person, like instead of talking to them, like say, me and you have a conversation. Okay, the t-shirts. My mom didn't see me doing anything with the t-shirts, even though I had talked about it. And was really, like...
just do it.
Adamant about it. But now I'm showing people. You know?
Yeah.
It's like action speaks louder than words at the end of the day. Stop talking.
Just
do what you say you're gonna do. What you say you're gonna do.
I agree 100%. So that being said, that concludes Mike Motivation Monday for today. And then also I want to say thank you to Marquis and Vivid Vision Media again. And then thank you to Iven for everything you've done for me and just today and just in general. I love you, man.
Love you too.
You're my guy. You already know.
Yes, sir.
And so one thing, make sure y'all like and subscribe too. And then also too is hit me up if you want any Blaise Training shirts. And then hit Iven up if you want any shirts. You know, and so make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment. And then another thing too is if you want to get on here, just let me know, shoot me a message. And then I hope y'all really take reading serious, especially as a black person. Like you always told me reading's important, but as a black person, I really feel like you're taking advantage of just life in general if you're not reading. Because there's a point in time where you'll be killed if you read. You would literally be killed if you was reading. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be punished. So please don't take advantage of the time we have and just the age we're living in. I know things aren't perfect and I know there's racism still, but please don't take advantage of not reading. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you're taking advantage of it. So that being said, it's all love.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Within certain type of reading that you do, there's a lot they don't want you to know.
That's true.
It's in the books, though. There's people who've done the research. And that's how that's one of the ways they keep us down, by people not knowing. So we know, the more you know, the better things can get.
Yep.
You know.
And it opens your mind up too, because reading's been like kind of an escape valve, especially during this quarantine. It's been giving me the opportunity to just kind of just de-stress, but then also understand things from somebody else's perspective. So that being said, I'm not trying to lecture you on that, but please, I hope you take at least just 1 page a day. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, just 1 page a day. Then you know more than you did yesterday, So please don't think it, But with that being said, it's all love, never settle. I hope you'll have a good week. Thank you.